I came from an artistic family. Both my parents went to the Art Institute. I grew up around art. I grew up around people talking about art. Art was on the wall. So my father was one of these people who was an artist on the weekend and said, don't go into art, you can't make any money. So I grew up working on this issue of do I make money or do I make art? This is Taos, New Mexico. This is the Pueblo. I was really inspired by the light New Mexico and the buildings, the architecture, and so I came back and did a series of those. The buildings were usually abandoned. They usually had black or empty windows, and there was kind of an edge to all of them, kind of a dark edge or something a little bit off. When my aunt died of Alzheimer's, I suddenly thought, okay, I know what I want to do. So I painted a series that had to do with my ancestors, my Swedish ancestors. Because of photographs at that time, people did not smile. They were just very stiff. The only way I could pick up anything about these relatives was by the way, maybe they tilted their head or the way they held their hands.
When you teach, you not only are teaching, but you're also learning.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I came up with the idea of doing paper dolls with the children and seeing what they did in the classroom. And in the process, I started doing all these little dolls. And I just was playing with different patterns. And there's a couple of different sizes that I start with. You take the pattern, the pieces, which I have right here, and you trace around, you just trace around them onto the, I usually put on some hard paper, some stiff paper. Here's one I just finished yesterday.
Now you mentioned that a lot of your images deal with stories and things from your past. With the pieces that we have here, is that any one piece here that might relate to a story or a poem that you recall from your childhood?
Yes, for example, this guy. The name of this piece is Quetzalcoatl Redivivo. It's like, in English, it's like the rebirth of Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl is the feathered serpent. He's one of the most important gods in the Aztec mythology. And the legend said that one day the great god Quetzalcoatl will return from the land of the dead, maybe, to bring us happiness and good things to the people. And this is my interpretation of this legend. This is like a serpent, and those are, for me, like feathers.
Okay.
And if you can see, the head is like a bird too. And the shell, this is a seashell. The shell is one of the most perfect shapes in the natural world, and so I represent with this piece the poem. Okay. Then I knew about the celebration of the Day of the Dead at the Oakland Museum. Okay. So I decided to come and try to exhibit my pieces in the Oakland Museum.
I'm originally from Nebraska. I'm from the Omaha tribe in Nebraska. So I moved out to California for grad school. My dad's family, who is Omaha, they all lived on the reservation. He was one of the last full-blooded Omaha people. Of course, he took relocation, which was a major program that moved tens of thousands of Native people from reservations and schools and colleges all over the country to urban centers. It's a real watershed, I would say, in Native American history overall. The community is very diverse. We're very spread out. There isn't one, central area of town that we live. Things like a powwow that's very celebratory. There's booths, there's artists, there's food, there's laughing, there's some really good dancing. There's but we also come around arts. We come around, come together for graduation ceremonies, for family celebrations. Native American Health Center was formed in 1972.
Okay.
We are the only healthcare provider targeting the Native American community in the 5-county San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay.
It's called 7 Directions Healthcare Facility.
Now, what are the 7 directions?
7 Directions is representative of the way in which all the directions that are a part of who we are as humans, as Native people, as non-Native people. The first 4 are the ordinate directions, north, south, east, west.
Right.
And then there is up, and then there is down, and then there is internal for who you are inside.